public ultimately exposes their opinions as unacceptable. Again, as stated by the Supreme Court of Appeal, freedom of speech must be robust, and the ability to express hurt, pain, and anger is vital for the voices of those who see themselves as oppressed and disempowered to be heard. So that was the fourth statement. The final statement, and the impugned statement, was made by another member of the EFF, Mr. Godric Gardy, in May 2018 via Twitter during a parliamentary sitting. Although the original tweet has been deleted, one can still find the public's reaction to this tweet on the internet. Many reactions also noted that in calling Mr. Maimane a garden boy, the EFF displayed some hypocrisy in a word used to belittle black people by a member of a mainly black political party that ostensibly protects the interests of so-called garden workers, domestic workers, and the like, so the poor, in other words. Now, the statement can objectively be construed as demonstrating a clear intention to be offensive and demeaning. It's a blatant insult. However, the fact that it was uttered by a black member of parliament to a fellow black member of parliament shows that there is power symmetry between the offender and the target audience. So here, the historical context shows that terms such as garden boy and tea girl were used to demean black persons. And the social context shows the persistence of inequality in class and professions based on race. But the factual context shows that it was meant as an insult. However, in light of the identity of the offender, Mr. Gardy, and the recipient of the statement, it is unlikely that the use of the term by a black man is objectively intended to be hurtful in the sense of visiting severe psychological impact on the target audience. For statements such as these, and one must also bear in mind that in the National Assembly, members of the National Assembly are afforded even additional freedom of expression in terms of our Constitution, but that an insult of this nature does not hold constitutional value, whereas debates on land reform and interracial relations obviously has relevance and significance for our society struggling to come to terms with our history. So the remedy for an insult of this nature by one black man to another black man might lie in the law of defamation or criminal injuria. It could also be brought to the attention of the Parliamentary Ethics Committee. So based on this and other considerations, the Commission applied its mind to each of the 5 statements and adopted the finding that ultimately none of the 5 impugned statements passed the legal threshold of hate speech and therefore did not amount to hate speech in terms of Section 10 of the Equality Act. My colleague can now briefly take us through some cases where the Commission made preliminary findings of hate speech.
Thank you, Commissioners Jefferson and Shanelle. Indeed, as my colleague Shanelle was taking us through the legal reasoning, what kept